Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Tucson. How's everyone feeling today? Fantastic. I love that enthusiasm. I love that zeal. You know that zeal is one of the 12 powers, right? All right. Welcome to Unity of Tucson. I'm Reverend Jonathan Zenz. I'm the senior minister here. It is my intention that Sunday mornings be a joyful celebration of love. So let's celebrate love today. What do you say? If you feel like you would like to move your body as we open up with our new song this month as our opener, feel free to do so. Some of you will probably recognize this song. Hold on to me as we go, as we roll down this unfamiliar road. Although this weight is stringing us along, just know you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna make this place your home. I'm gonna make this place your home. I'm gonna make this place your home. Ooh, ooh, There we go. I love that song. It's just like, yeah, let's get up and get the blood pumping. Yes, once again, good morning, beautiful humans. Welcome to another Sunday at Unity of Tucson. We are a spiritual community. We are here to teach practical tools for a better life. That is the whole point and purpose for me of spiritual practice and engaging in spiritual practice and having a spiritual practice. And what I have found is that as I have adopted a consistent spiritual practice in my life, life has just gotten better. How about you? And you know what I love about that too? Is that life can continue to get better and better and better because life is God and God is infinite, so there's infinite possibility to grow into even better expressions and experiences of God. So let's celebrate that. Yes, yes, yes. One of the things that I've started doing these past few weeks is inviting you, if you have a smartphone, to get your smartphone out right now and go to either our page on YouTube or our page on Facebook, or go to the live stream place on our website, and in the chat function, reach out and type in a hello to those who are watching with you, who are online in the virtual way. And I want to say hello to everybody who is watching online today and say I'm so grateful that you've decided to join here and be with us. And I love that, I go back and I look and I see, people are actually taking this to heart and sending messages, and it's great to know that we have this connection, so thank you for that. And when you are complete with that, please turn off your ringer and put your phone away. Now, we teach doctrine here, and the doctrine is something that you get to decide whether or not you are in alignment with, and if you are in alignment with it, you may want to consider applying that doctrine into your own heart so that it becomes a belief, because our beliefs are the things that are creating our experience. Now, you may not believe everything you hear today, and that's okay, but what this is a call to open up to what it is you do believe, because as your beliefs create your experience, you get to create new experiences by adopting new beliefs. So you get to decide what that is today. We do have a vision and a mission here at Unity of Tucson. I would love for you to share with me the words of our vision statement. Here they are. We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. Just think about what that is. Do you align with this vision? We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. Now, the vision is how we see the world. The mission are the steps we take to get to achieving that vision. So if you would please share with me the words of our mission statement. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. Love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. Here's what I know about you. If you're joining us for the first time today, I would love to have you let us know that you've joined us, especially if you're online and would reach out to us by going to unitytucson.com/connect, filling out some of the information that we ask for there, just letting us know that you've made this connection here today, and we will connect back with you. And always grateful to have our online audience, our online family, our online spiritual family join us each week. If you are here for the first time in the room, and you are comfortable with identifying yourself, we have a gift we would like to offer to you. So is there anyone who's joining us for the first time? If you would please stand up. Go ahead and stand up. Welcome. Grateful to have you here. And if you remain standing for just a few moments, please remain standing for just a few moments, because there's something else that I want to let you know. We have done our research here at Unity of Tucson because we knew that you were going to be joining us here this morning. We did. We reached into the infinite universe and we said, who's going to be here today? And we said, oh, yes, of course. And we found out something about you in that research, and we want to tell you what that is. Is everyone ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. Yes, you are. Thank you for joining us and bringing your light and shining it here today. Now, the research that we do is ultimately research into ourselves, and what we teach here, one of the things we teach here is that every single person we encounter is in some way a reflection of that which is inherent within each and every one of us. So we know your magnificence because we know our own magnificence. So let us all exclaim together these words. I am magnificent. How does that feel? That was pretty good. I'll accept that today. But I could say, maybe we could do better. How was that? There we go. Today, we're making some changes to the service. One of the things that Charles Fillmore has famously said is, I reserve the right to change my mind. And so, would you please welcome to the platform today our Keeper of the Flames, Susan Smith, as she guides us through our Lighting the Flames of Faith. This ritual that we've adopted here is an affirmation of our understanding that all faith traditions, all religious practices, all religious ideologies and spiritual paths, they're all rooted in one thing and one thing only, and that is love. So here to guide us through this is Susan Smith.
Thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. So this morning, we light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all the indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred laws. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. Oh, there we go. Sometimes it's shaky, right? We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to divine love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light, no, we're gonna wait on that one. I'm coming back to you, I promise. Okay, we light a candle for all faith traditions unnamed in the ceremony, and for any seekers who may be unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we are keeping open for them in our own hearts. We light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. I promised I'd come back to this one. We light this final candle to represent the healing of any circumstance that requires divinity to be revealed. This is your candle for whatever is in your mind and heart that requires the light.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
The candle here on your left is our peace candle. We choose to keep the peace candle consistently illuminated with this understanding that it represents the consistent illumination of peace in our hearts. And as we allow that inner peace to express itself in our thoughts, our intentions, our deeds, our words, we, each and every one of us, become a center of peace radiating out into the world and create a more peaceful world for all. So let's honor this candle by reciting together the prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. Harmony is established and peace begins to reign in the world. Indeed it does. Thank you. So part of that change is, and the Keepers of the Flames, I think, have a little bit of a sigh of relief around this. I'm no longer interviewing them. That doesn't mean that we all not do the homework. If you're new to our community, I give homework every week as part of my Sunday message, and I invite you to take that homework, which you'll hear about at the completion of the message today, and put it into practice, because as I said, we are a practical philosophy. The whole point is to activate this in our lives in a way that is illuminating ourselves and all humanity around us. So, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Today, to guide us in a reading and an affirmation and a prayer, please welcome in her debut as a prayer chaplain, Deborah Roberts.
Thank you, Jonathan. Good morning. This reading is from The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, and it was excerpted in Divine Audacity. Disregard appearances, conditions, in fact, all evidence of your senses that deny the fulfillment of your desire. Rest in the assumption that you are already what you want to be. For in that determined assumption, you and your infinite being are merged in creative unity. And with your infinite being, God, all things are possible. Let's share this month's affirmation, and I would like to first share it with you, and then I will invite you to speak it with me. For now, hear it, feel it, know it in your presence. My mind is the fertile soil where I nurture the seeds of all my desires and watch them bloom. And together, mind is the fertile soil where I nurture the seeds of all my desires and watch them bloom. And again, my mind is the fertile soil where I nurture the seeds of all my desires and watch them bloom.
I invite you to take a look at the faces of people around you, just catching their eye, deepening into a realization that what we see in every face is the face of God. I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love.
Take a fresh breath with me, and in doing so, I create space for the creative power of Spirit. Spirit expands and flows in that breath. I know God is the source of all that is, the source of all possibilities. And with this clarity, I now repudiate all sense of limitation. I affirm that I am the spiritual power of imagination. I know exactly what to do and how to do it. I joyfully, easily expect only greater and greater inspiration for love, life, harmony, and perfect outcomes as I fulfill my purpose. I am deeply grateful for the wondrous goodness and embrace, know, and release this truth by affirming, and so it is. Amen.
I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. Thank you, Deborah. We've begun a new month, and the theme of this month is the power of imagination. And so each month we are honoring and utilizing as our theme one of the 12 powers as acknowledged and identified by Charles Fillmore. And part of what I want to offer is to say, we call them the powers, the 12 powers. But if we also deepen into an understanding that these are aspects of our being, of our wholeness, that as God is all there is, we are that power, we are that presence. And so every aspect of God is an aspect of us. And so this week, as I'm trudging along, I don't know where I'm trudging along to, I think to myself, what would be a great song to guide us in our first Sunday where we're talking about imagination? Well, you will know this song. I'm putting the lyrics up for today's featured song because I would love for us all to sing it together. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possession. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Thank you. And thank you for singing with me. I love that song. I mean, it's, I'm like, is there anybody who doesn't just love that song? And if you don't have to tell me. It's okay. If you don't like the song, you can be like, I don't like that song. I have a funny relationship to this song, though, because one of the things that has happened throughout my ministerial life is this song tends to come up at times when the world is feeling challenging. And we're in a period right now, the world feels challenging, doesn't it? Well, I guess not. I guess my work is done here. Thank you all so much. No, I joke. Specifically what happens, I wasn't really prepared to mention this today. So back in 2016, I talked a little bit about it last week when the shooting happened at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. I was in Toronto at the time. I was serving as the spiritual director at the Center for Spiritual Living in Toronto. And of course, I came to that following Sunday service and we sang a lot of songs, but we let our benediction be Imagine. And there was a point at which everybody just decided to stand up. They all rose out of their seats and they put their hands up. And it was just like one of those moments that you can't plan for, but it is just an extraordinary, it's an extraordinary feeling. And then I had somebody come up to me and say, I have a problem with that song. Really? Yes. I don't want to imagine there's no heaven. Okay. I want to imagine that we're living in heaven now, so can we change the lyrics the next time we do it to imagine we're in heaven? And I gave that a lot of thought, and I even thought about changing it today. I thought about changing it to, if the glasses come off, something's happening. I thought about it today. I was like, okay, so if we imagine we're in heaven, which is a place I already live in my own mind, I'm going to talk about it. Yes, it's coming up. It's in my notes, I promise. I know. Somebody's like, you're wearing nail polish. Yes, I am going to talk about the nail polish. See, now, Anita, thank you. You've thrown me. I live with this understanding that where we are is already heaven to the degree that we decide that that is where we are. So I don't like to think of heaven as someplace I'm getting to. That's why I can firmly say, imagine there's no heaven, because heaven is not something outside myself. Heaven is right here where I am. Heaven is a decision for me to live from the highest principles of love, peace, and harmony. I mean, isn't that what we think we're getting to? I mean, isn't that what many philosophies teach? Like, oh, when we shed this mortal coil, we're going to that place where there's only love, where there's only peace, where there's only harmony. Well, why are we not creating that here and now? So I don't need to imagine heaven out there. I need to understand heaven right here. It is up to us to decide where we are. It is up to us to decide and live the quality of life we want to experience. It all begins as a decision. That decision is rooted in, frankly, our imagination. And if we can adopt it in our imagination, then we can choose to live accordingly. It's really hard when we see all the stuff out there, though, right? I get it. I am equally as challenged, if not in some ways perhaps more challenged, because I am consistently working in my own life to maintain a spiritual understanding of all the things I see around me. But that is my job. That is what I have committed myself to understand that no matter what I see in the world of circumstance, whether it be heartbreak or challenge or other things that I don't even want to say out loud, but I'm going to, or killing, war. When I see those things, and we're exposed to those so much more because of the nature of media, when I see those things, I put myself at a point of decision. Am I going to align myself with the circumstances, or am I going to know who I am and rise above the circumstances so that right where I am, I become a radiating center of peace, love, joy, and harmony? And by doing that, by becoming that radiating center, I create that in my sphere, and that sphere extends, because what happens is those people who may be allowing themselves to be motivated by my sphere of influence will create their own sphere of influence, perhaps in harmony and in alignment and in vibration with that love, joy, peace, and harmony, and we create a more peaceful world all around. That is what I see, and that is how I understand my world. So this month is the month of imagination. If you want to live a different life, imagine a different life. And know that as you imagine that different life, that something motivates you from within. That is the nature of this aspect, this power of imagination that is the truth of your being. So what is imagination? I think we should maybe think about that. What is imagination? Imagination is the capacity to outpicture possibilities. What possibilities are you looking to create in your experience of this thing called life? All of that begins with imagining those things, because our mind, our consciousness creates our experience. And so as we utilize this power of imagination, we are setting ourselves up for success, that those imagined ideas come into expression. James Dillett Freeman had this to say: imagination is the act or power of forming a mental image of something not present to the senses or never before wholly perceived in reality. We have the capacity to create our imagined life in form because we have the capacity to imagine that life, to bring that life to mind, to consider that life. And just because it has never existed before does not mean that it cannot exist in this moment, and in this moment, and in this moment. But we have to make the decision to live according to that imagination. Do you believe? This is something to check in. I said earlier I was talking about beliefs. This is a question to check in with yourself. Do you believe that you are relegated to living what you perceive as the reality you are experiencing? No. Good answer. Then the rest of you? No. I don't believe that I'm relegated to living a challenging life. My life has gotten a lot more free and easy as I've adopted practices in the direction of free and easy. And I didn't need to come into a spiritual practice to be able to do that. I just needed to learn who I was and know that my thoughts create my experience. I can formalize that spiritual practice all I want. But unless it truly changes my mind and my beingness, then nothing will change. And so, I do not believe I am relegated to the life I am experiencing at all. And I am willing, and this is the question, this is the follow-up question. I am willing, are you willing to change what is necessary to change to up-level your life? Yes. And the rest of you? I think we resonate with that song, with the song Imagine. And we've been singing that song for 50 years now. I think we resonate with that song because at some level, we truly accept that that possibility exists. That the words that are spoken and sung in that song, that possibility exists. And we keep resonating with this idea that it is something out there to be attained because we have not attained it in our own hearts fully yet. This is not to punish us for not having gotten there yet. Not at all. It's to say, I know who I am. I can let go of any past transgressions, and I can allow myself to fully adopt this way of thinking, this way of being, this way of believing moving forward and create something extraordinary. The possibility exists in mind. And if the possibility exists in mind, then the experience of that possibility is only a thought or a belief or a feeling away. in class, Wednesday night's class, we're studying the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And in that book, the first chapters really delve into quantum theory, and quantum physics, and the idea that there's only one thing that exists, and that is infinite potential, whatever that means. That there's an energy, and the only thing that exists is energy, and that as we utilize consciousness, our awareness of consciousness in our mind, we collapse that energetic field into expression in the way that we call matter. Now, if you don't quite understand this, that's okay. You don't need to understand it. All I'm saying is our thoughts and our beliefs and our feelings create our experience. That's what quantum physics and quantum theory is supporting. That our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings, that they are creating our experience. The only thing that exists truly is potential. That's the only thing that exists. And as we change our mind, that potential transmutes itself into some changed experience. So if the only thing that exists is potential, how do we draw into that expression the things we would like to experience in the world of form? Well, this book suggests that it is through observation. I think to myself, well, it's not just me looking to see the thing I want to see. It's me deciding upon what it is I would like to see. And so it draws me back into decision, rooted in imagination. And as I allow that imagination to inform my decision, that is what I begin to experience and see in the world. Maybe it's too heady. I don't know. I love this stuff. But one of the things that we have come to believe in, I believe, I think that we have come to believe in and put a lot of stock into consistency. It makes life really easy, doesn't it? This idea that if we maintain a consistency, life is going to be manageable. We don't want to be pushed past the bounds of our consistency, also known as our comfort zone. It makes life easier to experience when we know what to expect, doesn't it? And, not but, and if we maintain that consistency, it reduces the potential of something greater. A big block, that big block that we carry around, that block of consistency, is the notion also that I need to adhere to other people's opinions, or you need to adhere to other people's opinions and decisions about the way you should be, which is why I painted my nails today. Because last week, do you remember, Laura got up here Laura, the president of our board, she got up here. It's so funny. I am such an actor. You ready for this? I walked him like, oh, I'm out of the light. Laura came up here, and she had these beautiful blue nails. And I said, oh, I love your beautiful blue nails. And she said, my toenails, too. And at that point, I said, it's really lovely. I don't know that this community would accept me painting my nails. And there wasn't really a reaction to that. But then I really sat back, and I thought about that. And I thought, if I want to paint my nails, why shouldn't I? Because I don't need to be relegated to other people's opinions of how I should be in this world. And that's a lesson, and that is a lesson for each and every one of us. If you are taking upon yourself other people's opinions of how you should be, I suggest you change your mind. Be authentically you. I'm like, where am I in my notes? I don't know. I'm like, okay, the nails and the community, what happens? Oh, here's what comes up. So I asked this question, what happened in my mind in that moment in relationship to considering my nails? And I thought to myself, well, I have this idea. Where did I learn that idea? Where did I learn that idea? And is there any value in holding on to that idea or that opinion? What was that? Only if it serves you. Here's the thing. We can adopt opinions and values and things that serve us and are in harmony. That's fine. I'm not saying get rid of everything. I'm not talking about anarchy here. What I'm saying is find what is true in your own heart and express that wholeheartedly from a point of view of love. Because what happens when you do that, you are living your authentic life. I have talked about authenticity. Actually, have I ever really talked about authenticity from up here? Maybe a little bit. One of the bits of feedback I frequently get is, as a minister, people are grateful that I'm willing to come up here and be my authentic self, warts and all. Because a lot of times, you know what happens? People put ministers up on a pedestal like, oh, they have studied, and so they must know how to live the most magnificent life. And here's the thing. If you have ever put me up on that pedestal, knock me down now. I am willing to be up here to be as authentic as I possibly can in a public way because I believe that through authenticity, we learn from one another. And we get to decide if that is right for me or not right for me. And there's no judgment or opinion as to whether or not you should be the way I think you should be, or you decide to be the person that you truly are. One of the main reasons that I decided to be my authentic self wholeheartedly up here more than ever is because I used to stage manage a lot of spiritual conferences. And what drove me nuts is I would be backstage and helping people with, various stage management duties, and these ministers would come along and they'd be the guest speaker for that conference, and I would be interacting with them backstage, and they would be not a very nice person because they didn't know who I was. I was just some crew guy. Sucks, doesn't it, when the crew, I'm looking at my dad because my dad has lived a life of being a crew guy. It sucks when the talent treats the crew as something less than. And that's what I got a lot from ministers. And then they would walk on stage and they would be saying things like, we are all one. We are all unified wholeness. We must understand this. But they were being a different person backstage. And so I said, I will never be that. Ever. And so you get me, warts and all. And here's the thing about that. You get the wholeness of me in whatever way I choose to be, and I get the wholeness of you, I trust, in whatever way you choose, because when it comes right down to it, it's all made up. 100% of everything we experience, 100% of all of it, it's all made up. There is nothing in our experience that isn't made up. Can you accept that? Because here's the great news about that. If it's all made up, you can remake up the things that are not so good in your world. That is the power of imagination. In the flow of experience, this flow of experience which is rooted in mind, we get to make up our reality. We get to remake our reality all the time. One of the great things about this book is it's inviting us to truly work in the direction of living in the present moment and letting go of anything we carry into the present from the past or any considerations we have about the future. It's all made up. So why do we end up being like automatons, so many of us? Having to be like everyone else, dress like everyone else, act like everyone else. If you want the magnificent experience of life, begin by conceiving that life using your imagination, then envisioning that life using your imagination, and then allowing yourself to embody that life. Embody the thought in alignment with the vibration of the feeling of joy, the feeling of love, the feeling of harmony, the feeling of goodness. That harmonized frequency of thought and feeling creates the experience we want. Oftentimes we live in conflict of those things, though. Imagination is the power that frees us from the limitations of our senses. It is that part of us that is freed from thinking that any of this is solid. It's not. If you want to know more about that, come to class. So this rhetorical question, what do you see in your life as a foolish consistency? And I use the word foolish purposefully, because Ralph Waldo Emerson said a foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of small minds. I love Emerson. I love Emerson. So did Charles Fillmore. So did Ernest Holmes. If you are not certain about what you see in your life as a foolish consistency, perhaps if I phrase it this way, it'll help you illuminate that in your own mind. What is it that's not working for me? What is it that's not working for me? Ask yourself that question and see what comes to mind. It's not to beat ourselves up over it. It's to illuminate us to that which may be below the level of awareness so that we can then step into action, so that we can imagine something new and different. Is it your job or the perception that your job will bring you happiness? It won't. Is it your relationship or the perception that a relationship will bring you happiness? Or perhaps it's your perception of a lack of relationship. Is it your finances or a perceived lack of finances or the idea that finances will somehow bring you happiness? Nothing will bring you happiness except your own mind and your decision to let happiness and joy and fulfillment be the point of view from which you are expressing, and then all of those things, your job, your relationship, your finances, your health, all of it will align itself in accordance with your state of mind. It works that direction, not necessarily the other way. It can be any number of things that we say are going wrong in our life. Anyone have anything going wrong in their life? Turn it around in mind. Believe it, you can achieve it. That is what we teach. Can you get behind the idea that all of this is based on mind, on your use of mind, your use of consciousness, because that's the only thing that exists. It's the joke in class. If you take a test and they ask you a question and you aren't sure the answer, just write down consciousness and you cannot get it wrong. At least in tests that we give for classes here in New Thought. 1 + 1 = consciousness. Yes. We are lulled into a false concept that there is something else at work. And that's when we start to believe in something else. That's separation. Separation is the only thing that causes discord in life, this idea that there is something separate. I have actually been giving this a lot of thought this week, and so I have to ask myself, if there is no separation, then what do I truly think is the truth? Because I still think in terms of separation sometimes. Anyone else? When I find myself thinking in terms of separation, I have to step back and go, what do I truly believe? Oh yeah, my beliefs are creating my experience. And so if I'm believing in separation in this one aspect of my life, it's time to let that go. It's time to imagine something else. Now we believe in separation because we experience multiplicity. Multiplicity meaning that God is expressing itself, this magnificent infinite creative power is expressing itself in infinitely unique ways. It's expressing itself as you, as me, and we are each and every one of us unique in that expression. We are living the life of God, individualized and calling it our own. Can you get behind that idea? We live in a land of make-believe. And so what are you going to believe into experience today? What are you going to believe into experience today? Are you using the faculty of imagination to uphold a status quo or expand and evolve the infinite potential and possibility? Where are you on that? Since it's all made up, we can create the life we want to live in. Are you living the life you want to live in? Rhetorical. You get to make it up because it's all made up. This is a land of make-believe. This is how I've reconciled in my own mind and in my own heart the things that are happening outside my sphere of influence. And I know that as I come into alignment, utilizing the power of imagination, imagining a better expression and experience of life, that my sphere of influence expands and expands and expands, and it changes this world. That's what I'm here to do. We are not relegated to the collective unless we decide to be. We have a great capacity to imagine a life of limitation and then argue for those limitations as though they're real. Stop it. The biggest limiting argument, well, that's the way it's always been. And we find ourselves back at consistency. We don't have to adhere to the plot. We don't have to adhere to anything because it's all made up. And this brings me to one of my favorite quotes in the whole world by the master of the Muppets. Life is like a movie. Write your own ending. Keep believing, keep pretending. Engage your imagination. Make it all up, because it's all made up anyway. That's truly the power of imagination. Live more fully in the land of make-believes and make those beliefs come to be. You are worthy of your best imagined life. Peace and blessings. You are magnificent. So the homework this week. Now I feel like I have to come up with a little jig to talk about the homework. The homework this week is this. Take action on something you might have been sitting on in your life. Take action on it this week. If you don't know what that is, ask this question. Where in my life am I unfulfilled? Where am I feeling unfulfilled? And then remind yourself that your fulfillment is your work and no one else's. Take action. I'm going to invite us all to relax right where we are. Check in and see if there's any kernel of an idea that has resonated with you today, and let that idea be present in your mind and in your heart, wholly, right here, right now. Let it be present as we step into this time of reflection. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Right here in this moment, I live in an assured knowledge of the infinite wholeness, the infinite presence, the infinite power, the infinite energy being all there is. While I call it by many names, I choose to call it God in this moment, for it is allowing an understanding that God is the source of all, for it is all, and it is who and what each and every one of us is, for there can be nothing separate from the infinite. And so the power
of divine creation is at hand right here by means of each and every one of us. And so I acknowledge and accept on behalf of each and every one of us the most magnificent imagination overflowing from within each and every one of us to create the life we would like to experience, the life we would like to live. For it's all made up. We live in a land of make-believe, and so I choose to make believe something better here and now and evermore. I allow this to be at the core of my beingness, to radiate forth, and it is with grace, gratitude, and joy that I simply welcome the flow. For my word spoken always returns fully formed. It can never return void. For I know it is backed by an infinite creative power, the power that is God. Knowing this, trusting this, and allowing this, I affirm it by saying, and so it is. Amen. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Sometimes you just don't want to break the energy. Let's just enjoy that for just a moment. I'm going to invite Ross Boehm, yes, one of the members of our board of directors, to the stage. Please welcome Ross.
Thank you. One of the thoughts that came to me in talking about imagination was, forgot his name suddenly. Thomas Jefferson. No, that's not the one. Who was our president during the Civil War?
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln once said, "You're about as happy as you make up your mind to be." So if you get up in the morning and say to yourself, "I'm going to be a grump today," what's that do for you? I'd rather say, "I'm going to be happy today," and it'll go so much better. One of the things that makes me happy is doing things for our facility here, our religious center. Just yesterday, William and I took down the last of the bells so that the painters can work on the walls up there. And by the way, they're underway. So if you see white coming down out of the skies, it's not snow, it's paint. You might want to park your car a little farther away.
I'll park my car farther away, yes.
So anyway, and also giving to this facility is very, very important because we had, over the last several years, several leaks come into this facility from rain. And fortunately, we haven't had rain in a while. The roofer is done. The painters are well underway, and they'll have to be paid in a week or so, and we need a little more money to do that, and I would appreciate you all help out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross. There are many ways that you can give. Thank you. I invite you, if you're in the room, to hold whatever it is you're offering Unity of Tucson in your hands, perhaps up to your heart. If it's utilizing one of the cards that indicates that you give electronically or you're an authorized, pre-authorized contributor, just hold it there. Allow yourself to acknowledge the energy that you hold in your hand, the decision that you hold in your hand to share with love. And let us share together this givingness statement. I share this gift with love, conscious of the inner presence as the lavish source and substance of my supply. I am rooted in the assurance that this gift blesses Unity of Tucson, and I trust in its ever-present circulation, knowing its blessings return to me. And so it is. As the baskets go around, if you want to move your body, feel free. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. Yes, it does. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Sue Craig, our other prayer chaplain, would you please honor us with a blessing?
Good morning, everybody. So good to be here. I would just ask you to take a second, think about the things you're grateful for that come into your life that's able to move forward, and that's exactly what these are. So I invite you to use your imagination on what these can do, what these gifts can do, and let's bless them on their way. Things like feeding the hunger, taking care of children, blessing each one of us in this community. So, Father, Mother, God, we send forth gratitude and blessings, and we know that these gifts can create magnificent, wonderful things in this world, in this time, and moving forward. And with grateful hearts, we claim it to be so. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A couple of things that are, of course, happening here at Unity of Tucson. You see the bears and the stuffed animals, and we're collecting these now through the end of July as part of our Bears in the Chairs season. Bears in the Chairs begins on Mother's Day and continues through the final Sunday in July, which is when we celebrate Christmas in July. So excited. We celebrate Christmas twice here at Unity of Tucson. If you feel inclined, and we'd love to have your support by bringing in a new unwrapped stuffed animal that will subsequently be given to Aviva Family Services to support children who are in the care of the Department of Child Safety. It's one of the great ways that we give back and contribute to our community. Another way that you can support Bears in the Chairs is we have tote bag kits. You can help sew these tote bags. We put the stuffed animals into the tote bags, which then get given to the children. It's a great way, because sometimes, when a child is being moved, if they don't have something like this, oftentimes they get a plastic bag, like a plastic garbage bag, just to put their stuff in, and that doesn't feel very nice. So this is another way that we help support by creating these tote bags. The kits are available just outside of the bookstore, so check that out. If you have even a modicum of sewing talent and can do a straight stitch on a sewing machine like I can, you can make these bags too. Unitix Happy Hour this Friday at 5 p.m. is going to be meeting at El Charro. If you would like more information about that, you can sign up or see Molly, who will be in the foyer. Hello, Molly. Molly is waving back there. Hi. Always grateful for you and your service. Other things that Molly helps take care of is she's developing a social outing, and on Saturday, June 11th, they're going to be going as a group to Leapin' Lizards Gallery. Would love to see many of your beautiful faces there. You can sign up and get more information from Molly as well about that. Would you please welcome Sue Rumsey, who is the manager of the Galeria Sagrada, which is our art gallery that we have in our foyer, to the stage as she introduces our next art show. Hi, Sue. How are you? Well, wonderful. Grateful to see you. Yes, we called each other.
We didn't plan it, honestly. Okay, I usually have to go on script, but his talk about imagination made me think about how much courage, that's why I have to go on script, because I cry easily, how much courage it takes artists to use their imagination, and how wonderful it is that we have an opportunity to show their work. Okay, first of all, I think this is the first time we've had a husband and wife team, wife and husband? Anyway, showing in Galleria Sagrada. Mary and Bill Alls. Can you guys stand so we see you? There are artists for June and July. Mary paints with mini media, and Bill has been a photographer since high school. Mary has been a professional painter since completing her college degrees. Now retired, she creates beautiful paintings with oil, acrylic, watercolor, colored pencil, crayon, and mixed media. One of the paintings she is showing was inspired by the scenes she photographed when she was lost in Colorado. So you'll have to talk to her about that story. See which one you think it is. Bill also used his photographic skills professionally after learning about photography in high school. Bill, I used to work in the darkroom in high school too. Well, maybe I didn't do a lot of work in the, never mind. Anyway, he processed his own photos. He's happy now for the arrival of digital photography and enjoys capturing the beauty of nature in the desert. Please say hi to Mary and Bill out in the foyer when we're through, and enjoy their outstanding artwork. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sue. We will be having a Father's Day shared meal following our service on June 19th. That's 2 weeks from today. And if you would like to sign up to bring a dish, you can also do that at Molly's table. Molly does everything around here, right? Hi, Molly. And I'm not forgetting, Roberta, I promise. I would love for us to support the youth in any way we can. If you have it in your heart to be part of our youth program, read a story, bring a craft, just bring your own unique, magnificent self for a Sunday. We would love to have more volunteers in support of our youth program. You can send a message to yfm@unitytucson.com to find out more about how you can participate. Our prayer chaplains in service today are Deborah Roberts. Hello, Deborah, and Sue Crake, whom you've both seen on stage here today. If you have a need for a 1-minute miracle, just a moment of prayer following service, they will make themselves available here in the sanctuary at the completion of the service today. What Roberta is trying to get my attention about, though, it is the first Sunday of the month, and so we celebrate birthdays today. If you are celebrating a birthday, you may have been asked as you were coming in to fill out a form. Is there anyone who is celebrating a birthday in the month of June who did not fill out a form? All right, so we've got one more, and we'll get a form to you. What happens is we take these forms, and we're going to do a little drawing. What you are getting for your birthday, if you are the winner of the drawing, is you get to have a portion of our monthly tithe sent to the charity of your choice. And so it's one of the ways that we celebrate and also give back to the community. While they're filling out their forms, though, I think we should sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. All right. Roberta's going to keep, thank you. Roberta's going to keep taking those forms around. I realize I probably should have done this at the beginning of service, but I forgot. So let us continue on by saying thank you to everyone who made today possible. I want to say thank you to our tech team, to Don and to Jim and to Rowan for your service in making us sound and look and sound magnificent. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would like to say thank you to Deborah and to Sue as our prayer chaplains today. I want to say thank you to Susan, who is our licensed Unity teacher and also keeper of the flames today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Ross. Yes, thank you. Thank you to Ross. Roberta, there's someone just behind you who would also like to fill out a form. I want to say thank you to Ross for your service today. Of course, let us give great gratitude to Linda and this magnificent band. Joshua and Raphael, always grateful for you. I want to honor also that, now many of them may have stepped in, but if there's anyone who supports Sunday as basically a hospitality volunteer or a kitchen angel, I would love for you to stand up so that we can recognize you and your service to this community each week as well. Thank you so much. And there it is. I'm going to step down here for just a moment. And we're going to do the drawing. The drawing. And I'm going to mix them up, and I'm going to not look, and I'm going to choose. Roberta just said, pick me. Let's see, this is the one I'm picking. And it is Rowan Pierce. And he has asked that we give a portion of our contribution to the Primavera Foundation. Here's what you need to know about Rowan. He turned 16 2 days ago. Happy birthday to everyone. Let us complete our time here by sharing together this prayer of divine awareness. I am infinite light. I am infinite love. I am infinite power. I am infinite presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I am, God is. And so it is. Amen. New closing song this month. I had a dream so big and loud, I jumped so high, I touched the clouds. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. I stretched my hands out to the sky and danced with monsters in the night. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. I'm never gonna look back. Whoa, I'm never gonna give it up. No, please don't wake me now. This is gonna be the best day of my life. My life. This is gonna be the best day of my life. My life. Ooh, 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 ooh. I howled at the moon with friends, and then the sun came crashing in. Whoa, oh, oh. But all the possibilities, no limits, just epiphanies. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. I'm never gonna look back. Whoa, I'm never gonna give it up. No, please don't wake me now. Ooh, ooh.
the best day of my life. My life. This is gonna be the best day of my life. My life. Ooh, 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 ooh. I hear it calling outside my window. I feel it in my soul. The stars were burning so bright, the sun was out till midnight. I say we lose control. Ooh, 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 ooh. This is gonna be the best day of my life. My life. This is gonna be the best day of my life. My life. This is gonna be the best day of my life. Everybody up now, everybody up now. This is gonna be the best day of my life. My life. Make it a magnificent week, everyone.